Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about sex with Pisces, and yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Well, anyway, first thing I'll look at, sex in Pisces. Pisces is somewhat of a dreamer. They are people often that fantasize, and this could apply to sex as well. They could really, in many cases, be more about fantasizing about sex in terms of who they want to be with, and they're really not always action oriented. Pisces can be very passive and submissive, and if a partner or somebody that would be a prospective sexual romantic partner will often have to take the initiative or lead in showing that interest in starting a possible sexual romantic relationship. So the thing about Pisces too is that Pisces is a sign that could be rather impressionable and gullible as well. Pisces will often fall for a story somebody gives them, because Pisces is a sign that often it can incline toward helping those that are less fortunate than themselves, such as the oppressed, the impoverished, the homeless, and hungry. And it can be very easy for somebody to make up a story like this just to really get close to Pisces and just to get with them, take them to bed, so to speak. So really, this is a thing where Pisces has to be careful of, and also sexual relationships with somebody that may be into drugs or alcohol, because Pisces, I believe, is most vulnerable to this, because Pisces is that sign, I believe, has the greatest propensity towards alcohol and drugs. Now, the erogenous zone for Pisces is the feet. They may often like to have their feet massaged, and this could be something of a turn on for them. They can often be into foot fetishes. And what I look to with Pisces, I think what's interesting, and I'm not saying all Pisces are going to go into the adult film industry, far from that, but it seems like this is a way where I think a lot of Pisces kind of live out their fantasies in a way. I mean, you have John Holmes had a Pisces rising. He was a prolific porn star. And then you had Nina Hartley has the sun in Pisces. And then you have, trying to think, there was one other person that had, Ron Jeremy is a sun in Pisces. And it's just something where it seems like they're able to act out their fantasies this way. And I believe a lot of Pisces people probably are very strongly into porn. Now, a lot of people are into porn regardless whether they have Pisces as their sun, moon, or ascendant or not. But I think in Pisces it could even figure more prominently. On average, I mean, Pisces ruled by Neptune is over filmography and videography, and it's about, they can kind of live out their fantasies sometimes vicariously through these adult actresses as well. So anyway, the thing about Pisces too is that they can arguably be the most sensitive of the zodiac signs, along with the zodiac sign Cancer, and they could be really devastated if they find out somebody just manipulated them or used them just for sexual purposes only, and someone told them that they love them, they want a sustained relationship with them, and then all of a sudden they're out the door. And another thing too is that I think Pisces turn on sexually could be perhaps maybe taking Pisces by the water, maybe by a beach somewhere, maybe going in a pool, and even in a sauna, things connected with water. And also things at Pisces where you can really, maybe as far as seducing Pisces, maybe poetry could be one thing. Pisces is really often very enamored with poetry. Maybe some dancing, kind of the warm-up before sex, maybe dancing or poetry. And Pisces is a sign that's very compassionate. They are about self-sacrifice, and they will apply this often into the bedroom as well. They're not a sign that really is thinking about, okay, well, what is this person going to do for me? They often want to be the ones that satisfy the other people, and Pisces is just so giving that way, and that's why they can often set themselves up to be hurt, and it can apply and pertain to a sexual relationship as well. I find what's interesting is that Libra often falls on the 8th house cusp of Pisces in a solar or natal chart. And where Libra is placed in the chart can often show where we become kind of lax and we don't really we don't want to move from that particular area. We get kind of complacent. We don't want to make waves. 8th house is associated with sex, and I think what happens is Pisces is often reluctant to get out of a sexual relationship that might be to their detriment, because they just often don't want to make those waves. And Pisces is often very adaptable as well, given the fact it is a mutable sign. So they feel, well, I'll just get through this. And another thing too, what's interesting is that Virgo falls on the 7th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Pisces, and this could be a really compatible sign for Pisces in a significant other situation, which of course would include, marriage especially would include sex. And the thing is, Virgo is more about the details, and they're a little bit more critical than Pisces. I think what happens is Virgo can bring Pisces down to earth a little bit, and Pisces can give Virgo a little bit more maybe compassion on average and more feeling, and they really kind of complement each other very strongly. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Sex with Pisces, and stay tuned next time where I will be talking about the dark side of Aries, and I'm going to continue that series and go through all 12 zodiac signs. The dark side of Aries will be followed by the dark side of Taurus, and so on and so forth till I get through all 12 signs. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.